Hello and welcome to this Divine Partnership Coaching video. I am Madam Thanatos, and this is going to be 5 reasons to appreciate karmics. Just briefly, I want to point out, let's say to appreciate karmics and third parties. Now, karmics are lessons that are often brought to us through people, but they are not necessarily the people. However, when someone talks about a karmic, they're often referring to a third party. Like, say, you and your partner had been together for a very long time and you had a fight, and then they ended up entangled with a new person, either full-on relationship or just little things going on, or maybe you meet your partner actually and you're the third party situation. There are a number of reasons for it. However, people who bring us karmic lessons are actually helping us, and the first way that they help us is by bringing to our attention things that need to be healed. Like, say we have a challenge with people-pleasing, codependency, and/or upholding healthy boundaries. Having somebody come in that also has really hard troubles with boundaries, maybe they're a boundary violator much more than they are a codependent person who doesn't uphold their own boundaries. And when they come to you, and or one of them comes to your divine partner, they challenge them to then have healthy boundaries, and that builds self-worth, and that helps them recognize, like, especially if you've been a person who's either seen that and tried to help them have good boundaries, or either you've had good boundaries or you've been working on having good boundaries. They recognize that, and then they know what to do with their partner, their third party karmic partner. And if you watch some of the other videos too, especially I think I did one about have faith and mind your own business. Now, you have to recognize that whichever one of you, probably the one of you watching this video, is going on more of a solo journey and working on stuff and trying to glow up, your partner, usually it's divine masculine, that's the one who's wrapped up in a third-party karmic situation, they're watching you. They're watching to see what you're doing. Are you reacting to them? Are you paying attention to what's going on with them? Are you going to be dramatic and interfere and do all these things that they expect to happen? Because oftentimes they're coming from a lifetime of being pitted up against those situations and not recognizing that they are opportunities to heal, not to beat themselves over the head with. But they're watching you. And if you are working on yourself and you are addressing your healing needs and working on things like having healthy boundaries that don't sound like controlling ultimatums, and you are not wrapping yourself up in what your divine partner is doing, then because they are, as much as they probably won't admit it till later, because they are wrapped up in what you are doing, they actually start to emulate what you are doing, especially if they see that it works for you and that you are happy. And then you become that guiding light for them, like by literally not focusing on what they're doing and showing that you are whole and able to heal on your own. And if that's something that they are not used to seeing, that creates that opportunity for them to heal that. And so, first and foremost, we appreciate karmics and third parties because they help us decide that we want to glow up. We want to become enlightened. We want to be healthy. We want to feel good, and we don't want to continue attracting painful cycles. So they help us close those cycles. They help our divine partners close their cycles. 2, they're willing to have fights with you that your divine partner either wasn't willing to have or didn't need to be put through, and vice versa. They're willing to have fights and be in toxic situations with your divine partner that either you are not willing to go through with them, or that you didn't need to, that you were being protected from, and that they were able to work out with somebody else some things that would have likely demolished your relationship and would also have proven that it was karmic itself. So definitely appreciate the karmics for that. Um, and especially for that, because a lot of them really put our divine partners in situations where they really have to decide, is this the life that I want to live? Do I want to be treated this way? Do I want to be controlled and confused and or gaslighted, or have all my money taken all the time, and be unsupported, and have my boundaries walked all over me, have my stuff stolen, have, my job be affected? Do I really want to be this way? Or if they end up with a third party or karmic that has drug issues or money issues or crime issues, or is connected to a whole lot of people that are very dramatic that they won't let go of, it really provides a reflection for them to say, is this me? I mean, even if they used to be that person, is it still me? Do I still want to be this person? And if they see you over there not getting wrapped up in drama and still glowing up and still being a kind and loving presence for them, those karmics, I'm just say this is number 3, they provide contrast. They give you the opportunity to look at someone else and, not for one thing, to learn to release judgment, but to just factually, like, if your partner is with somebody who has, let's say, a history of crime, you can look at that and you say, do I want to be that person? Or if they have a history with partners that are dramatic or controlling or narcissistic or vindictive, when you hear about those things or when you see those things happening, you get to decide, is like, am I going to do that? Am I going to do that and just be bigger and more badass than they are? Or am I going to say, you know what, I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be forceful. I want them to come to me because they want to come to me, because they feel what I feel too, and not because I force them to. And when you're in that energy and your divine partner is with somebody who's in the energy of either begging them to stay all the time, or bargaining, or trying to make them jealous, or trying to wrap them up with so many errands and problems and complications and drama and stuff, so that they're too busy to be able to see you or connect with you or really heal things with you or any of that. And the contrast is that they're seeing you and you're like, well, I mean, it's not ideal, but I still love you and I know that things will work out. Like, being in that energy and them being with the people that they're with, they really get to see that contrast and go, man, like, what was I thinking? Who did I end up with? Or why am I still with this person if they met you after meeting the other person? And it makes them stop and go, what kind of contrast do I want in my life? Do I want the kind of contrast where I feel like I'm constantly beat up and berated and not doing enough? Or do I want to be with somebody like my divine femme or divine masculine, who are over there saying, I have faith in you. I would love to spend this time with you, but I've got things that I'm working on too, and I'm healing stuff, and I have faith that you will work it out and figure it out. That really makes you want to, rethink, like, do I really want to feel like I have to fight for everything? It seems like it feels so nice to be in a place of not controlling things and not worrying about things, but in order to get there, I've got to fight my inner demons. So, and whether you're in a twin flame relationship or not, sometimes one, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but two, like, this is often why rebound relationships, one, don't work out, and two, often lead the person who jumped into it to want to go right back to the person that they left, because they often jump into the rebound relationship either because they felt very hurt over something, or because they were put in a position where they were called out on needing to mature in some sort of way. Often it's both, and usually it's on both sides. However, when they jump in, they do what's called displacement, and either they pick somebody who is the complete opposite to you, or they pick somebody that is almost exactly like you, and in both situations they try to bring the relationship up to exactly what they left with you, and thinking that that will make them feel better, and they'll show you, and they'll be able to just pick up where they left off with you and not have to go through the trials and tribulations of dating and meeting new people and learning new lessons and things like that. And what it ends up doing is kind of backfiring, because they end up with unprocessed feelings, and they're faced with either somebody that is nearly exactly like you, at least it seems, and over time they start to really see how even the ways that they are like you is still not quite like you, and that you are incomparable because of either the spirit of why you do something, or the way that you do something, or the way that you love them, things like that. I mean, it can be quite a contrast to have, you got, let's say you got two people, and one of them only ever gives you compliments, or does their end of the supporting or reciprocation when you are buying them things, or taking them out to dinner all the time, or always doing what they want you to do, versus you've got another person who maybe they don't do it all that often, but when they do tell you something nice, you know that it's genuine, and then you could test them all you want. They typically don't want anything other than the feeling of, one, getting to express themselves and adore on you, and two, hoping that it'll help you feel good about yourself. Like, that's a contrast. It's a very different spirit, you know? And the same thing with the difference between somebody who is like love bombing you because they're in trouble and they know that the relationship is on the rocks because they've not been upholding the end of the bargain, versus somebody who knows that you're feeling down and out, so they're offering you a little bit of extra love and light and support. And same with, like, if you got two people who seem to be buttering you up, and you ask one of them, like, are you trying to butter me up for this? And they're like, no. I could see how that connection might have been made, but no, that's not why. I was just doing this because I love you and I want to do it. Versus if you ask that to the other person, they get super mad. Why can't I just do something loving and not have you question me? Or why would you think that I would do that? Just very, like, combative and catty about it. That's quite a contrast, isn't it? And so, yeah, so that was number 3. So karmics provide us, and third parties provide us with contrast. Helps us make choices, decide who we want to be and who we don't want to be. 4, they actually teach us how to give grace and have empathy for people who provide adversity for us. Because the irony is, if a karmic or third party has come into our vibration to help us and or our partners learn a lesson, then they are also there to learn lessons. And through providing those lessons to, say, your partner also provides them with lessons and them with contrast. And when you recognize that they've, you know, if you've got a third party situation, or your partner does, then you've manifested that together. Like, you manifested the person that came in to help you learn things, and they manifested you to help learn things. Then same thing with your partner. If they called in a karmic or third party energy, that person also called them in, because they both had those challenges to work on, whether it's like fear of abandonment or codependency or addictions or mother-father wounds, things like that, needing to release exes, whatever it is. That's what they call in. And number 5, I'm trying to think of how to word it, like, karmics are kind of, karmics and third parties are kind of like rainy, stormy days that are dreary and icky, and we don't like them. But when the sun comes out and you see a rainbow or a double rainbow, and it's so beautiful, and the day is warm and nice, and you've been stuck inside for like a week because it's been stormy outside, that that sunny day seems so much better. Just think about like when you're in the summer and day after day after day it's hot and sunny, you kind of start to lose the appreciation for it. And then you have some stormy days for like a week, and then you're like, oh my gosh, look at this beautiful sunny day and that rainbow, right? Uh, Karmics and third parties are like that. Yes, you can decide that, you know what, if they come in and your partner chooses them, or you choose to be with a different third party, that maybe that means that you're not meant to be, or that they've got problems or things like that. Or you can decide to say, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to work on myself while they work on themselves, and when we come back together, it's going to be like that rainbow after a stormy week, or a stormy year, or stormy months, or however long it is that you're in it. It's going to allow, if you allow it, it's going to allow your union to be that much healthier, and especially if you've been able to stay in your loving energy while also healing any codependency issues, it's really going to make your relationship profound. You kind of, at that point, you be kind of a power couple, and you won't have nearly as many challenges as you either started out with or that you could have started out with if you'd been paired together right away. Alright, so I will definitely do more videos about karmics and third-party energies and gratitude and appreciation. So for right now, though, I'm going to end this because I only have so long of memory on my phone. Please let me know if you have any specific questions or any feedback. It's definitely appreciated. So until next time.